self-sufficiency to economic empowerment. And I'm asking the public to join us on this journey.
This has been the Heartbeat Brief, an inside look at the Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting.
Your #1 team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire news team here in the North, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. There's a live look at the Bahamas Tonight coming your way next.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
First at 11. Amid claims by the U.S. that Cuba's labor export program represents forced labor to enrich the country, the Prime Minister defends the Bahamas as a country of laws. We hear how the government plans to address the change in the U.S.'s policy. Also, another man gunned down in the capital last evening, this time on Fleming Street in front of a place of worship, according to authorities. Police tell us of the efforts to resolve this latest killing. And Eleuthera residents may be the beneficiaries of a new glass window bridge, an iconic feature of the island, which has suffered extensive damage over the years. The minister advising that construction could start this year. The Bahamas Tonight at 11 starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Royson Jones, and this is the Bahamas Tonight at 11. Welcome to the broadcast. Tonight, the Prime Minister flatly rejects accusations of Cuban forced labor practices in the Bahamas following a report on the U.S. expanding its Cuba-related visa restrictions. Speaking at the RF Bahamas Economic Outlook Conference, the nation's chief emphasizes the country's adherence to strict laws and assured a review of its policies. Devontae Hanna leads us off at 11 tonight.
Tonight, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis is denying claims of Cuban forced labor in the Bahamas as the United States threatens to revoke visas of government officials.
This government will never do intend to engage in any forced labor. It's against our laws, and we are a country of laws.
The policy first introduced during U.S. President Trump's first term in office and later reviewed this time around. A February 25th statement from the U.S. Embassy warning Bahamian officials of, quote, lining the Cuban regime's pockets through forced labor, which they consider a form of human trafficking.
We don't think that we have done it. We are not doing it, and we will review where we are and get back to them.
This, the latest policy change of President Trump's new regime, including an impending tariff war and threats of dumping migrants on the Bahamas. Today, Trump's former Deputy National Security Advisor, Katie McFarland, warning Bahamians to get ready for a, quote, wild ride.
President Trump comes to the job as a businessman, and that's the lens through which he sees everything. You know, cost benefit analysis, spreadsheets, long-term building, because his business background was in building. And as a builder, he's not looking for the 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years. He's looking for the 60-year return.
The admonishment came during the opening of RF Bahamas Economic One-Day Conference held under the theme Escalating Global Conflicts, Power Shifts and Opportunities, bringing the welcome address, Prime Minister Davis, who issued a stern warning to the local business community to be a global citizen as the country's well-being remains a priority.
If you notice, my speech was all about uncertainty, and she confirmed the uncertainty was going on in the world.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Devontae Hanna.
Thank you, Devontae. The Ministry of Health and Wellness to recruit healthcare practitioners from Africa by May. According to the minister responsible, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, the new nurses and doctors will fill critical gaps in hospital and clinics that have long existed in the healthcare system. Last November, 18 nurses were hired under a renewable 2-year contract. 3 of the hirees are stationed in Grand Bahama.
In very short order, I will bring in 35 nurses from Ghana. Most of them will be specialty nurses. And we will be bringing in some doctors from Ghana to assist us with the shortage that exists. This is what a good Ministry of Health does. We cannot leave the positions available because nurses and doctors are not sitting around. It takes us 5 years to produce a RN. It takes us sometimes up to 7 to 10 years to produce a doctor. So when we lose these expertise, we need to replace them, either by import or by training. And so we're training, but the training takes time.
A nursing shortage isn't unique to the Bahamas. The brain drain said to be a global health phenomenon. However, Health and Wellness Minister assures that substantial work is underway to train Bahamians.
But we are looking for nurses who want to be clinical and not administrative. We have a very top-heavy administrative component, but we need nurses on the wards. Now, while this is happening, we have nurses being recruited left, right, and center from the Bahamas, from our neighbors to the north. When they're recruited and they're trained, we need to make sure we fill the gaps. I'm training midwives. I'm training TCNs. I have a new program at Tarif College in Grand Bahama where we're training 50 TCNs. The PHA Academy is training nurses. We're getting ready to have a new cohort of nurses at Bahamas University College, and training continues, not only for nurses, but also for doctors and allied healthcare professionals.
In news from Parliament, the Davis administration's positive outlook on the economy at the halfway point continuing in the upper chamber this morning, with government business leader and Minister of Economic Affairs, Senator the Honorable Michael Halkitis, expressing full confidence in the direction things are headed to restore the health of public finances. Sharing the sentiments of the Prime Minister, who has repeatedly stressed that there's still work to be done, Minister Halkitis reasons that so far, so good.
Look at the mid-year budget, and we look at how far we've come from the beginning of this administration to this point. Deficits are down, debt to GDP is down, employment is up, growth is up, jobs are up, business is improving, and in the midst of all this success, we recognize that there's a lot of work left to be done so that the impact what is happening in the Bahamas in terms of everything when we talk about economic recovery.
Senator Halkitis stressed that though fiscal discipline must be maintained, particularly in the face of geopolitical uncertainty, which can impact the economy, he indicated that efforts continue to reduce the tax burden on Bahamians.
In 2024-2025 budget, which we are in now, we continue to lower duties on business, building supplies, household items, and others, including on things like to encourage those individuals who are in the video production industry, things like drones and cameras and camera parts, items for the food services industry. We amended the Excise Act. This is very important, Mr. Vice President, because I think the impact is tremendous, and I think we need to do a better job of telling people about it. We amended the Excise Act to allow for duty-free importation of vehicles to be used in the transportation industry.
The government's Clear, Hold and Build initiative moving to the Carmichael area, with the work already beginning to improve the quality of life for residents there. The Prime Minister and a delegation being shown some of the work, and in this report, our Devontae Hanna has the full scope.
The Davis administration's Clear, Hold and Build strategy now in full swing, removing bushy properties and derelict vehicles, this time in the Carmichael Road area, much to the satisfaction of residents.
Living right across the road here, there's a whole big patch of bush there, and when I come in the night time, it's like, being a single woman, anybody could come in and you could just vandalize the place or even take me captive as a single woman.
The property opposite Miss Glacy Priscilla Murphy, just one of several to be cleared from Flamingo Gardens to Mermaid Park. According to Area Member of Parliament, the Honorable Keith Bell, it's all in an effort to reduce crime.
We see some crime, we see issues of social ills and the like, and all of these derelict properties. And so for us, it is very significant in the sense that we want to see a reduction in criminal activities, social ills, the removal of derelict vehicles, and of course, the cleaning of these overgrown and abandoned properties.
Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis, who led a tour of the properties last evening, says he's pleased with the progress thus far and what it means for those impacted.
In Engliston, for example, they are now looking at the vacant lots to start building affordable homes. In those areas, I think about 40 lots have been identified in Engliston, where the next stage will be to try to build homes.
The Clear phase remains in the hands of the Urban Renewal Authority, and officials there say they've discovered illegal weapons in some of the areas, but most importantly, they've improved safety.
They feel comfortable now. They can come outside. They can be a part of community activities because they feel safe now that properties are being cleared down and vehicles are being removed.
The ultimate goal, according to Education Minister, the Honorable Glenys Hanna Martin, is to provide better living conditions.
Children should not be surrounded by these symbols of deterioration. They should be surrounded by life, green, joy. This is how we improve quality of life.
Officials tout that since the launch of the Claire, Hold, and Build strategy, crime has decreased 48% in the Anglican community alone. The Bahamas Tonight. I'm Devontae Hanna.
Thank you, Devontae. Detectives have their hands full investigating what's now the third homicide within days here in New Providence. The latest killing taking place on Fleming Street last evening. We're told officers were on routine patrol on DeVoe Street when they heard gunshots. Their quick response led them to Fleming Street, where they discovered a man in his late 20s with multiple gunshot wounds about the body.
The initial reports in this homicide is that the victim was walking on Fleming Street when a single male masked on a motorcycle pulled up or rode up on the side of him, fired shots in his direction, fatally wounding him. We are appealing to the Bahamian public that if you have any information into this matter, please contact the police so that we can do our investigation and bring closure to this matter.
Still to come, Eleuthera's glass window bridge upgrade. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight at 11. More news in just a moment.
Step into a life of luxury and convenience with the Commonwealth Bank Platinum Card. From earning premium cashback rewards on every dollar spent to enjoying comprehensive travel insurance, shop with confidence, knowing your purchases are protected. Our Platinum Concierge service turns your requests into reality, wherever life takes you. Let the Commonwealth Bank Platinum Card be your passport to exceptional experiences. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Here at Immigration Care Service, you can trust us, especially if you have experienced issues or problems with the U.S. immigration at the borders. We'll do our best to provide options and solutions to immigration roadblocks, so travelers can continue visiting the U.S. and residents can continue living their lives in the U.S. without worries. The best part? Our services are affordable and accessible. Take the mystery, confusion, and fear out of your immigration concerns. Contact Immigration Care Service today.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, where safety is first.
Construction of the new glass window bridge in Eleuthera could begin later this year. That's according to Works Minister and Central and South Eleuthera MP Clay Sweeting. The new bridge would replace the existing one, which has suffered extensive damage over the years from severe storms. In fact, the current bridge is often closed sporadically throughout the year because the ocean is so rough that the waves crash onto the bridge, making it impassable. The construction of this new bridge, though, hasn't come without controversy. Questions were raised about its price tag. Originally pegged at around $26 million, but eventually ballooning to more than $60 million.
We're excited. It's made a lot of progress. A few weeks ago, we gave out our interest for proposals in the paper. We got a few persons or a few companies that has put in their proposal for that. We are hoping, if all moves within the timeline, we are hoping that you'll see some preliminary works June at the glass window bridge, and construction probably third quarter of this year. So we've made a lot of progress. Yeah, we're almost there.
It's a disturbing trend, but a known and unfortunate reality. Average savings amongst Bahamians remains low, with some continuing to borrow from financial institutions rather than accumulate savings or build wealth. Our Desmond Saunders dives deep into the issue in this week's Consumer Choice Report.
certainly in the last 20 years, consumer borrowing has been the predominant form of borrowing as opposed to mortgage borrowing, which shows us there's been a shift in priorities.
Soaring consumer debt now a major concern for financial institutions, and Chief Executive Officer of Fidelity Bank, Garwin Bowe, believes Bahamians should begin assessing their consumer debts if they plan to build a nest egg for the future.
Borrowing without having future benefit is dangerous. If you're borrowing for a car that gets you to work, that allows you to earn an income, if you're borrowing for education, which gives you a higher standing in society, if you're borrowing for a home, if you're borrowing to invest in a business, all of those are things that will provide economic benefit in the future. If you're borrowing to go Christmas shopping, you're borrowing for vacation, you're borrowing for a car that you really cannot afford, those are elements that do not come back to you.
If not managed, high debt leads to financial strain, lower credit scores, and even health issues, including stress. Bowe advising Bahamians to take charge of their finances to begin charting a course for the future.
So it means certain things that you're used to doing, you may have to forego. That may mean vacation for several years. That may mean your preferred coffee or latte in the mornings that you have to live with, you may have to forego for an extended period of time. It may mean in terms of foregoing some of the things that would be productive.
Now, Bowe recommends creating a monthly budget. Consider consolidating your debt into manageable payments, increase your income, and build an emergency fund. Desmond Saunders, Bahamas Tonight.
That's important advice, Desmond. Thank you very much. The Life at Key Foundation is providing more students an opportunity to reach their educational goals. The foundation creating a new scholarship tailored to students interested in building craft sector. Corvell Pyfrom reports on how the foundation plans to work with local institutions to find our best and brightest.
Announcing what's being called a groundbreaking opportunity for students, Life with Key Foundation Chair Basil Galandris says the $2 million endowed Peter George Galandris Heritage Scholarship, named in honor of his late father, and will award up to 8 students this year the opportunity to study in the UK, has the potential to make a lasting impact on technical and vocational education right here at home.
In partnership with the King's Foundation, the new scholarship program will provide Bahamian students who have an interest in building crafts a unique opportunity.
Now into its 35th year, the King's Foundation, founded by then Prince Charles, according to its website, works globally to create sustainable communities and transform lives. As part of the 5-month course, students will travel to the Building Crafts training centers of the King's Foundation in the UK. They will be able to take part in a series of intensive skills and material workshops and study at several historic heritage sites. Kristen Murren is the foundation's chief executive.
Our head office is at Dumfries House, which is in Scotland, so you need to bring kilts and hear the bagpipes when you're there. We also manage the Castle of May, which is right at the north of the UK, which was the holiday residence of the Queen Mother. And finally, and probably most dear to my heart, His Majesty's personal home, Highgrove in Gloucestershire, where we manage the gardens and where some of our specialist education programs are delivered. The students will get to experience all of these sites.
Life at Key Foundations hope to recruit students who study at Bahamas Technical Vocational Institute and have an interest in using the skills they have developed to work on heritage building crafts.
The $30,000 scholarship covers airfare, a warm clothing allowance, housing, as well as tuition. Deadline for applicants is May 1st, with decisions expected at the start of June. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corvell Pyfrom.
Vendors at Fort Fincastle have a few more days left before they have to relocate to make way for renovations of the historic water tower that's been inoperable and unattractive for decades now. The director of the National Museum at the Antiquities, Monuments and Museums Corporation explained the scope of works expected to take shape. Here's our LaDon Davis.
Standing at 126 feet, the historic water tower on Fort Fincastle will get the facelift it deserves after being closed for about 2 decades. Since then, the popular attraction has become an eyesore and a health risk for the 42 vendors who use the grounds below to sell their Bahamian-made souvenirs. But for safety reasons, those vendors will be relocated to Fort Charlotte to allow renovations set to begin next week.
We've worked with the stakeholders to ensure that that can be done in tents that have been provided for them. And so part of what we're doing is we're preparing for that process within the next few days. And so as of Monday, the 17th, the site will be secured by the contractor so that he can start his work on the outside. You'll see the scaffolding going up. Scaffolding is going to go all around the structure, and the site is going to be enclosed by a chain link fence so that safety can be secured for the site.
The $3 million tower's renovation project was awarded to Stephen Knowles Construction Company, but according to Antiquities, Monuments and Museums Director Don Cornish, the venture stalled for months due to a number of setbacks.
We started on the inside, obviously to ensure that we were able to minimize interruption of business at the site. Unfortunately, over that period, we've had a lot of challenges because there was not a clear understanding of what was expected from the vendors in terms of being able to relocate them to other portions of the site to facilitate the development.
We made attempts to speak to vendors while they were conducting a meeting on the fort's grounds to discuss the move, but the association's assistant president declined to comment. But according to Cornish, vendors are in agreement with the temporary change of the environment and are excited about the renovations being made to beautify the site. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm LaDawn Davis.
Thanks, LaDawn. Amajal Knowles has a look at what's coming up in sports tonight. Amajal?
The Bahamas and Panama going to penalties in night 1 of the CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championships. Find out who came out on top. Details of that story and more coming up in sports.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Stripe and the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Welcome to your Wednesday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles. The Junkanoo Boys opening up competition last night at the CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championships. They would take on Panama, and this one would go down to the wire. Here's a look at the highlights. The Malcolm Park National Beach Soccer Stadium, the host venue of Day 1 of the CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championships. The Junkanoo Boys in the feature match of Day 1 taking on Panama. Did not take long for the Bahamas to find the back of the net. Just under 5 minutes passed in the first period. Forward Crevin Ferguson, and what initially looked like a pass would manage to elude the Panamanian goalkeeper. The Bahamas striking first blood, taking an early 1-0 lead. To the second period, the Bahamas on the attack again. This time would Jewel miss eluding defenders to put the Bahamas up 2-0. It would look like the Junkanoo Boys would take a commanding lead in this one, but Panama not going down quietly. Shortly after, same period, Alfonso Marquenzi squeezing this one past Julio Jameson to get Panama on the board 2-1. Fast forward, just under 4 minutes to go in the third period. Panama with the numbers on the offensive. Marquenzi will find teammate Alberto Kelly, who will get this one past Michael Butler for the equalizer. Game tied at 2 with 3:30 to go. We had to extras, and a pivotal moment here. Referees calling a stoppage with 10 seconds to go. Veteran Leslie St. Fleur would have a chance to be the hero for the Bahamas on night one, but his attempt would go wide right. And with soccer, without a little bit of drama, to penalties we go. Bahamas up first. Wood Julmus finds the back of the net, 1-0 Junkanoo boys before Panama's Rafael Garcia ties things up at 1 apiece. Teams would trade the next 2 goals before the Bahamas' 4th attempt is blocked. Panama with a chance to take a decisive edge, but the ball hits the crossbar. No goal. Still 3-3. Leslie St. Fleur up again with a chance at redemption, but unfortunately just a bit too strong, and it all would come down to 1 kick. Alfonso Marquinzi just out of the reach out of Julio Jameson's hand, and the ultimate gut punch on night one. The Bahamas falling to Panama in penalties 4-3.
It's just our biggest problem from years behind, just sticking to the game plan and putting away our chances. We came into the game knowing that we're going to create our chances, and we're going to cost us just finishing our chances. Panama had a few chances and they put it away. The referee gifted us a penalty in the last second. Unfortunately, we didn't put it away. We practiced those things. They always go in, but just didn't go in this time.
We learned from today. We regroup, keep the guys motivated, and the good thing is that in our group, both teams, there's only 2 teams with 1 point because penalties is 1 point. So if we win the next 2 games, we're through. So we control our own destiny. Now we just gotta regroup and stay together, because I think we have a good team. We have a good.
In track and field news, the GSSA Track Championships getting underway this morning at the old Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. Charles Fisher was there and filed this report.
Over 15 schools taking part in the junior and senior championships. Field events finals dominated the first session. Some running events on the track, but basically heats of the 100 meters. Let's start with the under 15 girls high jump. Randy Rolls, C.H. Reeves. Raptors, your winner.
I felt excited and I felt good.
What went to go in and to throw in today? What was your mindset like?
Well, I just came and win with CHU Raptors.
Are you glad you get your points for CH Reeves?
Yes, sir.
How do you see their throws went though?
I didn't know it went good.
CH Reeves also going 1-2 in the under 15 boys high jump with Deontay Joseph taking the gold.
I feel very good since I just joined high jump. I feel like I could do high jump.
That was a foul attempt. What was your mindset going in and jumping?
I come here to win, and I come here to do good in my jump and break a PR.
Okay, that's enough, C.H. Reeves. Moving over to the under 20 girls javelin, C.I. Gibson's Christina Butler, the champ from last year, and back doing it again.
I know I could have do better. Heavy hands down, I could have do better. But I'm proud of myself because I haven't thrown javelin since last year around this time because I had an injury. But I feel pretty good since I was on and not touching a javelin for 1 year. So I feel pretty good. And I am first.
Good job now. The meet will wrap up on Friday, but the juniors will wrap up their competition on Thursday. Good luck to all. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
Let's look at your sports on this Wednesday. A check on weather when we return.
Legends, coming soon to the ZNS Television Network.
Here we are, Amy, at home. Mom used to say that the answer to any horse riddle always lay in the past.
You're a genius. The horses. We just let them speak to us.
You keep 10 feet away at all times. Any part of you that crosses that line will be removed.
And at the break of day, you said... I'd say the horse is drugged. I would never drug a horse. My mother was like a horse whisperer. Look at a horse and know what was wrong and what to do. I know that you blame me. It's not my fault.
It's now time for a weather check with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Royston. That cold front that brought the nice cool temperatures that we are enjoying is now to the south of us, leaving behind a very weak high-pressure system, which will generate some light winds over the next couple of days. Temperatures around the islands, 68 degrees in Marshall, Abaco, Greentown, Key, and Freeport at 69 degrees, 72 in the Berry Islands, Allenstown, Bimini, 73, 73 in Harper Island, Roxanne, Eleuthera, a little cool at 67, 68 in Fresh Creek, Central Andros, Camp Space, St. Andrews, Black Point, Exuba at 67, 68 again in Otterstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and also in Rumkey. Georgetown, Exuma, 1 degree up at 69 degrees. Then we pick up some 71s in Ragged Island, Clarence-Town, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay may go on to 70 degrees. Ackland's at 74, Matchetown, Unigo 74, and the Turks and Caicos Island reporting 77 degrees. And your forecast tonight, mainly clear, still on the cool side with a low temperature falling off to 66 degrees. And tomorrow, it's going to be mostly sunny, a little warm, but still on the nice side with a high temperature around 81 degrees. Extended weather forecast, beautiful weather for the next 7 days. Temperatures generally in the 80s during the daytime. Those nighttime temperatures, they will continue to be in the mid to upper 60s. Royston.
Continue to enjoy this cooler weather while it lasts. Well, that does it for the Bahamas tonight at 11. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. Thank you for watching, and good night.
At Tonic Williams Darden Highway, I'm Tajaro Hudson. This is ZNS.
Honey, I'll be back in a minute. I'm gonna go get a snack.
Man, quick, Jazz, hide, man.
Oh, man, I thought you said your uncle was asleep.
He was. He must have had that red